Hey guys, what's going on? It feels like that saying, the one about there being decades where nothing happens and then weeks where decades happen. Well, it feels like that's basically the story of our lives right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Seriously. It's crazy how much the world has changed in just the past few years, especially when it comes to tech.
Uh-huh.
Like, remember when Google was practically the internet?
Right. You just type in whatever you were looking for and bam, a million answers right there.
Exactly. But lately, it just feels different, doesn't it?
Different. It's a whole different ball game now. I mean, search has been completely flipped on its head. It's this AI revolution, right?
Yeah,
Years and years of slow, steady progress, all crammed into what, like a couple of years of insane change. And Google, the king, well, they're suddenly facing, I don't know, like an existential crisis or something.
okay, but hold on a sec. Before we get to all the Google drama, can we just talk about that quote for a minute? The whole decades happening in weeks thing?
Sure.
Because I was reading that it's not actually from Lenin, like everybody seems to think.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that funny how these misattributions just stick?
Yeah,
But think about, I mean, it's actually a perfect way to describe how we feel about AI right now.
yeah. All this crazy change so fast.
Right. I mean, the actual quote, though, it's way older, like 1908 from a novel. But it just captures the feeling, you know?
Totally. It's like, remember when Deep Blue beat Kasparov at chess?
Yeah, back in 97.
Yeah, that felt like, whoa, AI is about to take over the world. But then it's like nothing much happened for ages.
Exactly. Those years between Deep Blue and like when GPT-3 came out in 2020, I was mostly just quiet progress, you know?
Right.
Building the foundation. And then, bam, out of nowhere, ChatGPT hits the scene in late 2022, and all of a sudden, AI is the hottest topic again.
Yeah. It's like all that behind the scenes work just went mainstream overnight. And Google, meanwhile, they were still stuck with their old keyword search. Making a ton of money, sure, but
Well, they built an empire, right, on that keyword model. Almost $300 billion in ad revenue by 2022. But that model, well, let's just say it wasn't exactly built for the AI age.
yeah. And speaking of ads, those sponsored results.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how they used to be bright yellow?
Yeah, yeah. Easy to spot.
So you could actually tell the difference between, actual search results and the ads. But now forget it. They just blend right in. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they're making it harder to find what you're actually looking for.
You're hitting on something really important here. It's all about that prime real estate on the page, right?
Yes.
Like above the fold, they call it. In the newspaper days, you'd never fill that space with ads, right?
Right, right.
You need people to actually buy the paper. But Google, well, they got so big, so dominant, they kind of stopped playing nice.
I get it. They're a business. Got to make money. But it does make you wonder, are they actually making the organic search results worse on purpose?
Hmm.
So we click on more ads.
Interesting.
Like I was trying to find a mini fridge, one of those super thin ones,
Uh-huh.
and the sponsored results, perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. But then scroll down to the regular results.
Yeah.
Totally different fridges. Not even close to what I wanted.
Hmm. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, it's a question a lot of people are asking, right? Are Google's priorities changing? Are they less about giving us the best results and more about, I don't know.
The bottom line.
Yeah. But to be fair, it's not all Google's fault, right?
Right.
Websites themselves are playing the SEO game, stuffing articles with keywords, irrelevant info, all just to rank higher. It's a mess.
Oh, yeah, the good old affiliate link nightmare.
Exactly.
Just search for best headphones, and every article's just a giant list of expensive products, probably haven't even been tested, just links that make the writer money.
Exactly. It makes it so hard to find actual, genuine information. And then, just to make things even more confusing, Google throws in their own AI summaries.
Oh, yeah, those little AI boxes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're helpful, but often they're just weird. Like I saw one where Google claimed there were only 7.9 billion people on Earth in 2024. Hello?
Yeah, that's the thing with AI-generated summaries.
Outdated.
They can be inaccurate, prone to, hallucination. Basically, the AI just makes stuff up.
Right, right.
And it's not just that, it actually hurts the very websites Google's getting its information from.
So they're using other sites' content to train their AI and then basically saying, thanks for the info, but we don't need you anymore.
Yeah, kinda. It's part of this bigger trend called enification.
Enification.
It's basically when these companies try to lock you into their own little world, their ecosystem, and then they start exploiting you for profit.
So, like, Google wants to be the only website we ever need, but, like, their AI isn't even good enough to replace everything else yet.
Exactly. And thankfully, there are alternatives popping up. Have you heard of Perplexity AI?
Perplexity.
It's getting a lot of attention. Even Jeff Bezos invested. And what's cool is that it actually cites its sources,
Oh, wow.
so you know where the information is coming from.
Okay. So it's not all doom and gloom.
Definitely not. I mean, Perplexity, Search GPT, Arc Browser, these are all challenging Google's dominance. It's actually pretty exciting. Some people are even saying traditional search, the 10 blue links, is on its way out.
Wow, that's a big statement. So are we heading toward a future where AI just answers everything instantly and we never even visit websites anymore?
Maybe. I mean, we're already seeing the start of that zero-click future, but what does it mean for content creators, how we get information, our understanding of truth?
Yeah,
It's a lot to unpack.
it is. Okay, so big question here. Is this all good, bad, or just inevitable? Like, how should we, the regular folks, be thinking about all this?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? AI has so much potential, but it also brings up a ton of ethical challenges, social challenges, and honestly, nobody has all the answers yet. But here's what's fascinating to me. These AI tools are becoming more accessible every day. It's not just like passive consumption anymore. We can actively use it, shape it, even build our own solutions.
So you're saying instead of freaking out about Google or AI taking over, we should focus on how to use these tools to, I don't know, our advantage.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, and now more than ever, we have the power to empower ourselves. This is it. This is where the future's being written, and we all get to be a part of it. It's a lot, right? Like drinking from a fire hose, all this AI stuff.
Seriously. New tools, new breakthroughs every day. Like last month alone, ChatGPT 3.5, Google's Gemini 2.0 Pro, DeepSeek, going crazy. It's hard to even keep track.
The speed is insane, I get it. But here's the thing, you don't have to be an expert in everything. Think about it like, I don't know, a chef, right? They have their favorite knives, the ones they use all the time. They don't need every single knife in the world.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So we should build our own little AI toolkit, figure out what works for us and get good at those specific tools.
Exactly. And like a good chef keeps their knives sharp, right? You got to keep your toolkit updated too. Maybe you find a new AI agent that's perfect for some annoying task, or figure out how to write better prompts. It's about being intentional.
Makes sense. But okay, I've got my toolkit. I'm feeling confident. How do I stay ahead of the curve? Because this whole AI thing just keeps changing so fast.
First, you got to figure out what really grabs you in all this, right? What's your AI passion? Video generation, AI music? Or are you more into the ethics side of things, the big picture stuff? Find that passion, and that's where you dig in.
Become a mini expert in my own little AI corner.
Exactly. And one of the best ways to do that, dive into the research. I know. Research papers can sound intimidating, but there are actually some cool resources to help you understand it all. Ever heard of Google AI Notebook LM?
Can't say I have.
It's pretty wild. Imagine uploading a research paper or even just like a long document, and this AI creates a whole podcast episode explaining it all just for you. You can even interrupt and ask questions.
Hold it, seriously. So it's like my own personal AI research tutor.
That's the idea. And it's not just for research papers either. Legal documents, historical texts, anything. Possibilities are huge.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list. So research is key. What else? How else can I stay up to date on all this?
Good AI newsletters are a must. There are some awesome ones out there, curating all the important news so you don't have to spend hours searching yourself. Two of my favorites are The Rundown and TLDR, AI Daily Insights, right to your inbox.
Like having a personal AI news team. Kind of dangerous for my inbox, but also super cool.
Right. But the most important advice I can give you is this. Don't just read about it. Take what you learn and do something with it. Experiment, build stuff, apply the concepts. That's how you truly get it.
Yeah, just reading about AI isn't enough, is it? It's easy to feel like you're falling behind, but if you're not actually making something, are you really learning?
Exactly. Challenge yourself, maybe build a little web app with Replit or spend some time getting creative with prompts in Midjourney. It's about getting your hands dirty.
Okay, I like that. So to recap, find your AI passion, dive into the research, stay informed with good newsletters, and most importantly, actually build something.
You got it. And this landscape is constantly changing, so keep that curiosity alive. Lifelong learning is the name of the game now.
It's exciting but kind of scary too, like with all this AI stuff evolving so fast. Is there a point where it just becomes too much, where AI is calling all the shots and we're just along for the ride?
Big question. Lots of people are asking that right now. It's hard to say for sure what the future holds, but I think it's important to remember that AI is, at the end of the day, a tool.
Yeah, a really powerful one, but still a tool.
Exactly. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad, right? It all comes down to us, the humans, and how we choose to use it. We're not just passively watching this happen. We have a choice in how we shape this future.
It's like back in the day, if you learned something, you knew it, right? Like a fact was a fact, and that was that. But with AI changing things so fast,
It's different now, right? It's all about constant learning, adapting to new info. We have to be okay with not knowing everything and even questioning things we thought were true.
it's like that whole change is the only constant thing, but on hyperdrive. Do you ever feel like you're barely keeping up?
Oh, all the time. It can be a little overwhelming, honestly, but I think that feeling like you're a bit out of your depth, it actually keeps you curious. You're more open to new ideas, more willing to learn.
So instead of trying to be the all-knowing expert, it's about being a lifelong learner.
Exactly. Always learning, always adapting. And that's what makes this such an exciting time. We're all figuring this out together. No rule book, no set path. We're making it up as we go along.
Speaking of making things up, the whole ethics of AI thing, it feels like we're just starting to understand the potential problems.
Yeah, it's a huge conversation and it needs to happen everywhere. AI is getting more powerful, more integrated into our lives. We have to think about the consequences: bias, discrimination, jobs, misinformation. We can't just ignore those issues.
Right. And it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff. It's about using AI to actually make the world better, right, for everyone.
Exactly. AI has the potential to fix things, to empower people, make things fairer, build a more inclusive world. But it won't happen on its own. We have to be deliberate about it.
But what can we do? How do we make sure AI is a force for good?
I think it starts with having those tough conversations, about ethics and values. What kind of future do we want? What principles should guide how we build AI? And these conversations can't just be happening in Silicon Valley. They need to happen everywhere: schools, communities, government, even just with your family.
It's about more than just the tech stuff. It's about the human side, the social impact.
Absolutely. We have to remember that AI isn't just lines of code. It's going to change the world in ways we probably can't even imagine yet. And if we want to shape that change for the better, we have to start thinking about these issues now.
So it's about us shaping the future, not the future shaping us.
Exactly. We have a voice, we have choices, and we have a responsibility to use them. So let's talk about these issues, let's challenge the way things are, and let's make sure AI is used to build a future we can all be proud of.
This has been amazing, really thought-provoking. Thanks for joining us and sharing your insights.
My pleasure. I love talking about this stuff. Always so much to consider.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this exploration of the AI world. Remember, the future isn't set in stone. It's something we create together. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. The future's waiting to be written.